Mike, an exciting cup tie which ended 2-all in ordinary time, and Knaresborough Town managed to win 3-2 on penalties.
It was an exciting game. Had everything. Played some really good football first half. Went into a 2-goal lead. Potentially could have been a little bit more. But second half it was a little bit disjointed. We didn't start as brightly as we did the first half. Credit to our opponents today, Burley, who stepped it up, mixed it up a little bit more, asked a few more questions going forward. There were a few more balls in behind, and it stretched us. And they got two goals from it, from causing a little bit of chaos within the area, and made it a 2-2 draw after 90.
We got off to a dream start with Holly resoundingly putting the ball in the back of the net. How pleased were you with the first 45?
Really pleased. I mean, the first goal was superb. You know, we got the ball into tight areas centrally. We worked a couple of 1-2s. Holly did a little give and go inside the 18 and then just slotted it into the bottom corner. You know, that's what we've seen from Holly at training. We've now seen it in match days. She knows she can deliver that, and she's got that awareness to give that little drop in and take it and slot it home. So I was really pleased for her to get that goal. You know, and we then created a few more chances before we got the second. Again, it was another really good calm finish across the keeper into the bottom left-hand corner. So we were quite clinical, you know, but likewise, you know, we could have been probably 3 or 4 at half-time, but credit where credit's due. Burley stood strong, they were competitive, and it was a really fair game, and you know, they showed a little bit about what they're capable of doing. So we knew in the first 45 they were causing us problems down our left-hand side, and you know, we tried to correct that in the second half, which was good.
The football cliche is that 2-0 is a dangerous score, and going out for the second half, it was always going to be who was going to score next. If we'd have scored, probably finished off the game. If they scored, they're back in it. It proved to be them that scored, and they put on a really great display second half.
Yeah, it's football's full of cliches, and you know, there's some truth in them, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, the next goal was pivotal. We had a couple of chances before the corner that caused the equaliser, but you know, we'd had warning signs from the set plays, from the corners being delivered. It was really good delivery from the Burley player into a really good compact area. Just needed a flick off either player, really, one from our team or one from their team, and it can cause havoc. We had a warning probably 30 seconds before they scored off the corner, similar, which we defended okay. And then the same was the second. It got a flick and it rolled in at the back post, which, you know, then Burley's tails are up, and you know, we're trying to get everyone back on it to be calm and control the game, be in possession, play the way we need to, play through the lines, get the striker to hold it, and you know, Burley made it really, really hard for us to settle. So, you know, the second goal, a free kick from quite a distance. I think Ella just misjudged it. To be fair to her, I think she could have dealt with it better. But that one's just squirmed off the surface and gone through her hands into the bottom corner, which makes it 2-2. You know, and then we break up the other end and we fire one just wide through Cassidy Lane. But it was quite end to end after that, and it was like, crikey, it's going to go to pens.
Yeah, certainly was. It was certainly end to end, and I suppose for the neutral, a very exciting game to watch. But come 90 minutes, it was 2-all. The referee starts to organise penalties. I know for a fact that you haven't practiced penalties ever. How easy was it when you were in the huddle in the centre to get people to, did they volunteer? Did you have to select an order of the players that would be stepping up to take the penalties?
Well, I wrote a list down. Me and Austin put our heads together, and we wrote a list down of the players on the pitch who we thought would be our choice for penalty takers, and we walked into the middle centre circle where the team were, and we said, right, first and foremost, who wants one? Who wants a penalty? And they sorted it.
Right.
And I went, well, that's great, because that's exactly the same as what's on my list. So this is how we're going to take it. and we just went through the order of run, and we had backups to 6 and 7 and 8 onwards, just in case the penalties went on and on and on. And you know, as a group, they had great belief in themselves and great belief in their teammates to say this is how we want to do it. And I just sorted out the order because it was the same realistically as what was on my list. There wasn't any one missing, and there weren't any additions to the way it was going to go. So we were all on the same page, made it really easy for me.
So when the penalties started being taken, it was dream start, great finish to get, well, a great save by Ella, to be honest with you, on a couple of the penalties. One particular one, I think she certainly redeemed any mistake that she's made during the game by putting the ball over the bar, which was a tremendous save because it was a powerfully hit shot. Yeah,
that's keepers, isn't it? At one end, you know, this one's squirming through and into the net, and they're looking for that hole to swallow them up and disappear into. And then we go to penalties, and you know, she's pulled off 2 really good saves in the penalty shootout, and you know, I think she's put a couple off with a feint of movement to one side before going the other. So you know, she's really stood up tall and to be counted, and I'm really pleased for her. But for the ladies who stood up to the 12-yard spot and took the penalties away, you know, they're technically very good players. And you know, I was probably surprised at a couple that didn't hit the target.
But it's always a difficult thing, isn't it?
But that's it, it's that mindset. You can't, you know, you've got to be focused on this is where I'm going, this is how it's going to be, and stick to it. If you overthink it for even a second, that's you done. Or you've given the keeper a 70% chance of saving it. And you know, I think a couple of them probably got that, maybe trying to be a little bit too cute, a bit too precise, and but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. We got the goals that we needed, and it sees us through into the next round.
Yeah, we're always in front in the penalties, which I suppose is a blessing. You never want to be chasing or hoping that there will be a save.
That was right, you know, always ahead. It takes a little bit more pressure off the next player taking the penalty, and you know, if we miss it, the worst that we can do is equalise. So it was always good to be on that front foot path, and I thought, you know, we dispelled them really well.
Okay, as we keep on saying, your favourite part of the interview, goal of the match.
Holly Mitchell. It was just great link-up play, and I'm sure when people watch back the video of the footage, they'll see some really good intricate play and a really calm finish. So Holly Mitchell for the goal of the game.
And player of the match.
Wow, it's a tough one. Player of the match. It's a really tough one, to be fair. There was a couple that really stood out and shone. I thought Jess was solid and superb again. I thought Emily, positionally, today, she was on it, and the passes were really good, and her work rate and tenacity was superb. And Eva up front, the hold-up play, and the work rate to force presses certain directions was better than what we've done. But I think, you know, out of them, I think I'd probably go with Emily Crispin for player of the match on today's showing.
And final word, we lose Liv today. It's her final game for the foreseeable future. How much are you going to miss her in the team?
Well, it's quite a sensitive time because Liv's been with us for a good part of a year when we started up. She came a couple of months later, but she's been part of the Knaresborough Town family, and you know, she will always remain part of the Knaresborough Town team. That has gone on to be undefeated through the league so far, and you know, she's always going to be welcome back. She's going to be sorely missed, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. She's a really good character at training, really bubbly, and you know, she's been a joy to work with. So she's definitely going to be missed, but the door's definitely not closed, so she'll be welcome back when she returns.
And I hear they're all going out for a night out tonight. Are you hoping there won't be too many sore heads on Thursday night, and do you think they'll have recovered from the hangovers?
I'm hoping they've recovered by then, otherwise it's going to be some hangover. I'm just praying that they can all have a good time without jumping on each other's backs and causing me any distressful news with texts of injuries or anything of that sort, because we're a tight group, we're a tight squad, and you know, we need the players on the pitch, so fingers crossed. They all enjoy themselves, but they are well behaved doing so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.